Sophie sat at her desk, staring at the English textbook in front of her. The letters seemed to dance on the page, twisting and swirling like they were mocking her. English was hard. No matter how much she tried, the words just wouldn't stick. Sophie, a 13-year-old girl from a small town in France, had always struggled with languages, but she had a dream. She wanted to be good in English. Every night, she would listen to her favorite English songs, trying to pick out the words. She loved the way the singers spoke so smoothly, as if the words just came naturally to them. Sophie wished she could speak like that, effortlessly, confidently. But every time she tried, her tongue felt heavy, and her sentences came out broken. "I want to be good in English," she told her best friend, Marie, one afternoon after school. They were sitting on a bench near the park, the cool autumn breeze rustling the leaves around them. "You're already good at so many things, Sophie. Why do you care so much about English?" Marie asked, swinging her legs back and forth. Sophie sighed. "Because I want to travel the world someday. I want to make friends from different places. And English is the key to that. It's like a bridge. Without it, I feel stuck." Marie nodded but didn't say much. She didn't fully understand, but Sophie's dream was her own, and that made it special. So she just smiled and said, "You'll get there. You always do." One evening, after another frustrating study session, Sophie's mother found her sitting on the porch, staring at the sky. "What's bothering you, ma chérie?" she asked, sitting beside her. "I'm just not getting better," Sophie mumbled, hugging her knees. "Everyone else in my class seems to understand it, but I feel like I'm left behind. I want to be good at English, but it's like I'm stuck." Her mother placed a hand on her shoulder. "Learning a new language is like planting a tree. It doesn't grow overnight. You have to water it, take care of it, and give it time. But one day, you'll look up, and that tiny seed will have grown into something strong and beautiful." Sophie thought about her mother's words for days after that. Maybe she was expecting too much too quickly. Maybe, just like a tree, she needed time to grow. Determined to make progress, Sophie decided to change her approach. She started reading books in English, but instead of long novels, she picked children's books. Simple stories with big pictures and small words. She joined online forums where people helped each other with language learning, and she made a few friends from England and Australia. They didn't laugh at her mistakes. They encouraged her, correcting her gently and celebrating her small victories. Every time she learned a new word, she wrote it down on a sticky note and placed it on the wall beside her bed. Soon, her wall was covered in colorful words. Hope, friend, journey. All these small, powerful words began to fill her room like tiny pieces of a puzzle she was slowly putting together. Months passed, and Sophie's confidence grew. One day, during her English class, the teacher asked if anyone could explain the meaning of the word dream. Sophie hesitated for a moment, then raised her hand. "Dream means something you want to do or be," she said, her voice a little shaky but clear. "It's something that gives you hope." The class was silent for a moment, and then her teacher smiled. "That's exactly right, Sophie." After class, her teacher pulled her aside. "I've noticed you've been working really hard, and it's paying off. Don't give up. English will come to you, bit by bit." Sophie walked home that day with a feeling of lightness she hadn't felt in a long time. She knew she wasn't perfect at English yet, but she had come so far. And most importantly, she wasn't afraid anymore. She realized that being good at something wasn't just about being perfect. It was about trying, failing, and then trying again. A few years later, Sophie found herself at an airport, her suitcase packed and her heart racing with excitement. She was going to London for the summer, a dream she had held onto for so long. As she stood in line to board the plane, she overheard a group of tourists speaking in rapid English. Without hesitation, she joined in, answering a question one of them had about their flight. The conversation flowed naturally, and for the first time, Sophie didn't feel nervous. She smiled to herself, thinking of the younger version of her, sitting at her desk, struggling with English, and how far she had come. "I want to be good in English," she had once said, and now, standing on the brink of her adventure, she knew that she was. Her journey had only just begun.